Okay guys, here we are. It's Monday 9-ball Scotch doubles, and we have Larry and GoodTime paired up against Senny and Romario. Remember, it's a race to 7. It's also a handicapped event, but these two teams, there is about 40 odd points between each of them, so they're playing scratch, so there's no money balls being given in this match. Remember, it's money ball handicapping as well rather than a rack handicap. And we've got Senny at the table. Remember also, in case you're not sure, Scotch doubles, you play in teams of 2 and it's alternating shot between you and your partner. He plays one shot, then you play the next shot, and so on. Well, that was a bad miss there, Senny, and that's given Larry and GoodTime an opportunity to snatch this rack. And we'll have a look at the bracket in a minute at the end of this rack. There is a slight problem here. This 8 ball's tight on the rail, and obviously you've got to get the cue ball somewhere up the table for a shot at the 9, so the cue ball's going to be travelling. Larry's going to have to put, I would imagine, a fair bit of top in this, unless he's going to try and draw across the table. That's a dangerous shot because the in-off's always on doing that shot. And he's played it soft, and it, well, there we go. As predicted, that's always a dangerous shot. I always look at that shot and I'd rather play it with top and let the cue ball run rather than trying to draw, because the cue ball's always going to draw across the table. So they've thrown away a chance there, and unusual for Larry to fall into that trap because he's an experienced player, and it's obviously always a likelihood that that's going to happen. So anyway, Romario and Senny win the first rack. Romario's broken off. He's got a couple of balls down, I think. One of them's also the cue ball. So GoodTime back at the table. So let's have a look at the brackets like we said. And we have Popman and Samurai teamed up against Dizzle and Izum, and Popman and Samurai are getting 5 and out, so they're getting a maximum handicap there. We've got Atrito and Samurai who are waiting for the outcome of that first match. They've got a bye. And we've got the second round match here that we're watching with Larry and GoodTime and Romario and Senny. So let's go back in. We've got Larry at the table. Now he's set his partner up for the combo in a 9 here with a 4 ball, and he's just got to play this. If he plays it too soft, he doesn't certainly want to leave it hanging over it. He wants to make sure it goes in, and in it goes. So very quickly, Larry and GoodTime are back on a par, 1 rack all. Also, in case I didn't mention, it's double elimination, so if you lose your first match, you'll go over to the 1 loss side and you'll still have a second chance to win the remainder of your matches and get to the final. Senny out with the jump stick. Needs to watch he doesn't follow this through anyway. Well, he's got the hit but didn't get the pot. And I never noticed him actually hit another ball. He must have fouled it too. I never saw it. Well, it's come up saying low ball. No, I'll need to look at the video and watch that shot again because I didn't see what happened. So GoodTime's got ball in hand. Now, Larry just going to try and play this nice and soft. Well, he's under hit it slightly. He should still get this, but the problem now is he's going to run into that 4 ball and push it over towards that 6 and 8 ball, and may well tie it up. So this is now a bit of a hit and hope. You're trying to pot the 3, but you're basically hoping that you leave your partner on this 4. Oh, well, he managed to miss it. That was a good shot. It looked to me that it was going to run straight into the 4, so that's turned out a lot better than I thought it would. Plus, my excuse is I'm not looking down the shot, so I can't see the proper line of the ball. I'm only looking at it as we look at it now. So again, the problem here is the cue ball looks as if it's going to collide in with that 9, and again, is he going to play the soft one? Well, if he'd feathered that 9 thinner, the cue ball would have been over towards where the 9 is now, and Larry would have had a better shot in the 6. He's overcut it, and it's always very likely that a player's going to overcut a shot like that. But it's reasonably safe, although the bank's on, which he went for. That's again a tough one. The cut's on, and the cue ball's going to go across. If he plays it softly enough, it's going to go across to leave his partner on that 7. And he's came across twice, and Larry's still got a shot. That's not bad. And now it's just a plain ball shot, because the cue ball's going to go down there. And Larry wants to finish the other side of the centre pocket as we look at it, the same sort of side as where the 8 ball is. So if he goes over to the right hand side of the table, oh, he's not hit it. He's got perfect on the 8 ball though. That's exactly where he wanted to be, but he's forgot the 7. It was a delicate little positional shot. Played it perfectly positionally, but missed the 7. Now this is also tough, and Senny's erred the other way and overhit it, but it's actually sitting pretty nice. Now Romario doesn't want to draw close to this 9, and he's played that well. And this isn't a difficult cut, just along the rail, and in it goes. So Senny and Romario go back into the lead. And no luck for Romario on the break. Plus he's left a 1 ball on, and all these balls are sitting pretty. It's a nice table to run. Of course, the first objective here is potting the 1 and actually being able to get a shot near that 2, and this is tough. Well, that chance is now going to go to Senny and Romario. If he can see this 1, I don't think he can. Let's have a wee look. No. And he's probably going to try the thin safety here, but he's to avoid hitting that 6 or the 3. And there's too much traffic there. And it's now handed back to Larry and GoodTime. And this time Larry will just drop the 1 in. Anything but straight on that 2, and that's fine. And GoodTime, the one thing he doesn't want to do with this shot is underhit it. He needs to get that cue ball up towards the centre of the table. Just let the cue ball run. As long as he avoids the in-off, he's fine. Now let's see what shot he's got here. Now Larry Well, he could go around, he could follow the 3 and go around the angle or draw it. He's chosen to draw, and again there's the danger, very close to the middle pocket. It's always a dangerous shot when you're drawing across the table. Now this looks a bit more straightforward now. Larry just dropped that 5 in, and as long as he leaves anything but dead straight in the 6, well, I don't know why Larry seems to be taking too long over that shot there. And again he's got the cue ball out into the middle of the table. Romario's went for the bank, and that's a good shot. But however, Senny's got the issue that we mentioned. He's sitting pretty straight in this 6, and if he puts too much top on it, the cue ball's going to stay up here by the 8. And that's more or less what he's done, although it's came out a bit more. And again, the natural path of the cue ball's going to come back up for the 8, but I think Romario's underhit that. That's about 2 foot short of where it should have been. And this isn't easy for Senny. The other problem is the cue ball's running up, and he's played it perfect, but of course he's overcut the 8 again. And I think we've seen the end of this rack. GoodTime just doesn't want to follow the 8 ball in. Just leave the cue ball anywhere that Larry can see the 9, and it's going to go in. Oh dear. Well, we won't say any more about that shot. And that could have been easily avoided. And well, Romario, I don't think, expected to get back to the table. So instead of being 2 racks all, Romario and Senny open up a gap now, and they lead by 3 racks to 1. So Senny's turn to break off, and let's see if he gets any joy. 2 ball looks as if it's tracking nicely. It's gone in, and he's sitting nice on the 1 ball for his partner. However, Romario is going to have to do a lot of work with the cue ball, and there's plenty of room there to come around the angle. The only issue was if he collided with one of these balls, which he's done, and poor Senny is going to have to dig himself out a hole here. He's going to have to kick that. Well, I don't know how his eyes are working, but he seemed to think there was a gap there to get to that 3 ball, and it was never on. So this is going swings and roundabouts. It's going backward and forward, and each team are struggling to find any sort of rhythm. So I reckon, I mean, this match could basically go any way. I mean, you couldn't say that Romario and Senny are in an unassailable position and have got that 2 rack lead, but that can really change quickly. Now, can Larry see that 5? I don't think he can see enough to pot it, can he? No, he's going to have to dig out the stick. In it goes. It needs to hold up. It needs to stop. And again, well, GoodTime is going to have to do the same. But the problem now is there's a bit too much distance between that cue ball and the 8, and it'll be tough to jump over that without colliding with 8. The odds are he's going to hit it. Well, 10 out of 10 that he got the hit in the 6 and he sunk the 6, but with the amount of power, he's bounced the cue ball off the table and ball in hand back to Senny and Romario. And again, that was all down to poor positional play. They're hooking each other on shots there, and at the end of the day you can't keep pulling out these type of shots to keep yourself on a run. So Larry and GoodTime know what the outcome was going to be there. Just not getting the position and giving himself more trouble. So now Senny and Romario are up by 4 racks to 1 and a ball in the break. 2 balls going down, hooked in the 1 and just going to play a push, but well, you've got to be thinking a bit more on where the push out is going to be. And well, somebody can maybe explain to me what that shot was, because I don't know what Romario was trying to do. I mean, he could have easily played up by somewhere down by the 7 ball, and that would have left him a shot on the 1, but no real potting shot in the 1. And again, the cue ball's just got away slightly, and this cue ball looks as if it might be tracking towards the corner pocket with the thin cut here. So Larry's going to try and draw it, and he might draw into the 7. Well, he spun it soft, played it well, controlled it well. Now again, GoodTime just needs to drop the 5 ball in, and the cue ball just needs to come out past the 8, so it's really a soft, delicate shot, and he's chose to go the other way. He's got Larry on the 6, but failed with the most important task in the shot, and that was sinking the 5. And I think Larry, the way this is going now, Larry and GoodTime are just throwing this away. I mean, Romario and Senny have done absolutely nothing to justify being in the lead, but that's the way games go. You know, if you're going to get handed chances like this in a plate each time, then sooner or later you're going to start stringing racks together one way or another. So it's not looking good at present for Larry and his partner. And Romario again should only just be rolling this in, and that's fine. So this is maybe going to be a very short match. It's now 5 racks to 1 in favour of Romario and Senny, and it's Romario's turn to break. Again, a lot of movement, but nothing moving to a pocket. Well, GoodTime types he has a good feeling about this match. Well, it's time to put his feelings into practice. Larry goes for the bank. Has he got second prize? Well, I think Senny can just see a thin edge of that 1 ball, and he's went for the bank as well. And it's finished safe. Now I'm just wondering when we're going to see some decent safety play here, because you know the one thing to do is to just tie your opponents up and try and ruin their rhythm, and GoodTime's pulled out a good one there. And Romario looking to see where he can kick to try and hit this, and I think he can only really go that way and avoid. If he avoids hitting the 6 he might get it, but it's a tough hit. Very limited angles that Romario's got to hit that, and he couldn't avoid a 6. So once again, well, he's done one thing though. He's gone and tied the 2 ball up with the 3, and that might be their lifeline in this rack. Let's have a look at the 2 of those. Well, as you can see, the 2 doesn't go, so all isn't lost in this rack. There's work to be done, and Larry, I think, well, he took the opportunity there to go for the combo in the 9, which was a tall order, and the other mistake now is that he's opened up that 3 and 5. Now that would have been fine had he left it safe, but as it is, Romario and Senny are back in. Now the problem I can see obviously here is the 7 ball. The 7 ball is potable, but only from a certain position, and that's calling for a great deal of accuracy to get the cue ball in that position to actually be able to pot the 7. But if he can't, whoever gets there has a good chance of a safety. Now this is a bit high for Senny. Cue ball's going to be running up and down the table now. So he's got to put a bit of force in this to actually get the cue ball back up. Well, he's got the cue ball back up, but we're now left with GoodTime and a thin cut, and the cue ball's running away again. He's really got to play this with a lot of inside English to check the cue ball. Well, he's managed to play it soft enough, didn't need the English, and that's sitting good. Now here is the problem. Now Larry, I'm sure, is looking at putting this cue ball down by the middle pocket to give his partner a shot. And has he gone far enough? Well, that's okay by the looks of it. Yeah, GoodTime's got the pot, but he's forgot about the 8 ball. Now, is Larry going to try and get the bank? This is an all or nothing shot, but I'd be playing the safety and try and get that cue ball behind the 9. It's the most obvious shot to go for. Well, that's all your eggs in one basket, as they say. And this rack should be all but done and dusted now. And Romario gets the English in the cue ball, punches it back across to the left as we look, and Senny's got an easy little roll in the 9. So now we're on the hill. Senny and Romario up with 6 racks to 1, and well, an almighty turnaround's required now for Larry and his partner. I think that 4 ball, let's have a look at the 4 just to make sure. Well, that's fine, it will go in as long as you get the right side of it, obviously. Just drop in. And Romario, plenty of spin in the cue ball. He got the objective, get the cue ball down behind the 4. Senny just needs to roll it in. Once again, Romario, a little soft drag with bottom right English, and punches the cue ball over to the right. And now, well, he could do a little stun, a little draw, whatever, as long as it gets the cue ball anywhere there. This match is all over. Senny just rolls the 8 in, Romario rolls the 9 in, and Senny and Romario somehow have won this match by 7 racks to 1, and they won't get an easier win considering they didn't have to do an awful lot to actually win it. And Larry and his partner, well, they've got their worries to seek. They've got matches in the one-loss side to see if they can keep their hopes alive for the rest of the tournament.